on your platform that you're watching me so that I will fix whatever is the issue. So, like I said, thank you everybody for being able to join us today. One second, please. Yeah, welcome. So what we are talking about today is how profitable is catfish farming over the course of the week. I actually didn't mean I didn't plan that I will be live today. So that's why I did not actually send any message out that I'll be live. But sometimes you get some requests and you're like, okay, no problem. I'll see what I can do. So that's exactly the reason why I'm live today. And hopefully everyone that had requested I do this will be able to join and learn one or two things. Please remember that on this live program today, you have the option of asking me any question you are having currently on your catfish farm, and I'll be able to provide you an answer right away. So what we're discussing basically is catfish farming profitable? Because I have some people that are going to join me soon. They're going to join this live program from outside the country. So this is a question that most of them are asking me. Some actually invested money in the business and the business crumbled and they keep wondering what's going on. So the question is simple: is catfish farming profitable? And if it is profitable, why is it that they are not making profit? So anyone who is a catfish farmer may also have this particular problem and you're wishing to know if it is profitable or not. I have actually done a video on this and I will update that video maybe within the week. So, like I said, if you have any problems in your farm that you want to ask me, I am here live now. You can ask me that question by dropping it on the comment section. I would reply as soon as I get messages. I will respond to you. Any message I don't respond immediately, I will respond during the course of the program. So let's start right away. Now, catfish farming, without missing word, is a very profitable venture. That is true. But it may seem to you that it's not profitable, but I'll give you the reasons why it's profitable. Catfish as a product, catfish as it is a staple for consumption in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. But let's limit ourselves to Nigeria. Now, many countries actually eat fish. It may not necessarily be catfish, but Nigeria, we eat catfish. Now, why is catfish farming profitable? Because catfish farm is a staple. Catfish itself is something that people cannot do without because you transform catfish to a source of protein. If you are currently in Nigeria, you will know that meat is a big man something. So most people shy away from meat and they go for fish. Now we have another alternative to fish, which is the frozen fish. Unfortunately, our frozen fish now is very expensive. So meaning that the only one left is catfish. But catfish is not that cheap because of cost of raw material. But however, people buy fish every day. Now, catfish itself is people, you can turn catfish to a lot of things. And that's why it's very profitable because you can use your catfish as dry fish. You can use your catfish for barbecue. You can use your catfish for fresh fish. Now, if you use it for dry fish, you can use it to cook soup. If you do it as fresh fish, some people use it to cook stew. And some people now eat it as fish pepper soup. So you can see that catfish is very viable. But now the problem is many people fail in the business. So many people fail in the business. The main reason why people fail in business is that, this Nigerian saying, of what I ordered and what I got. That is the main reason why people fail in the business. Please, for those of you who are tuned in now, remember, if you have any issue in your farm or you have any situation you are doubting or you are just concerned about, kindly use any of your comment section and drop those questions. I would respond and answer it as soon as I get those questions. So if you're having any issue in your farm, drop it now and I will respond. I already have some questions that I have on my phone, but when I give the explanation, I will go. So, but for you who are live, I would, do the answering immediately. So now there are, like I said, people actually fail in catfish farming. And one of the basic reasons why people fail in catfish farming is that most of us who are farmers, we don't want to change our ways. We are stubborn. Catfish farmers, many of them are just stubborn for nothing. I always say this, catfish farming is a business venture. And the first thing any businessman does, hey, thank you, Joshua. I see you. Thanks a lot. So the first thing any businessman does is when you start your business and for some reasons your business has issue, as a good businessman, what you do is you change your tactics. But catfish farmers, most people don't change tactics. What they do is that they keep investing money in the same process. And you know the English word that says if you continue doing something in a particular way and expect to get different results, it's not possible. This is the issue with catfish farm. So people keep doing the same mistake they did from the beginning, even when you try to explain to them, your explanation looks like it is too big. So they prefer to do that thing. Yeah, good evening, Oloma Gloria. They prefer to do that thing they have been doing before, lose money, then back it up with prayers and expect to get different results. ED, good evening. Thank you very much. So when people have this kind of situation, it means that they can't get a different result from what they have done before and they keep failing. Then when they keep failing, they now tell you that the business is very bad. But meanwhile, they are the ones who are not doing the right thing. I'm getting advice to wait for 9 months to gain more profit. Yeah, ED, let me be honest with you. I said this, I think, in the last live I did last week. When you are raising hybrid, when you are raising hybrid fish, yeah, ED is asking that he has hybrid fish that are 7 months and someone is telling him to wait for 9 months to sell. Now, let me quickly explain this particular issue. I said this in last week. Now, spread and Clarias catfish, they are similar in everything, but the differences lie in the period they stay with you. Try to understand this very well. If you don't, ask me. Now, I explained, and I'm still explaining. If you have Clarias catfish, best you sell your Clarias catfish at most when they are 7 months. Reason is that after 7 months, most of your Clarias catfish, they are going to have eggs. Now, when you sell fishes with eggs, people don't like to buy it because the eggs create a whole sack inside the fish. Now, when restaurant owners buy this same fish, hey, OG Benjamin, oh, good morning from your side. That is the world. So when restaurant owners buy this fish from you and the whole sack, when they remove that egg sack that is a hole in the catfish and slice it, it brings down the value of the fish they sell to their customers. So customers don't buy it. Imagine you going to a restaurant. Yeah, from Australia, I understand. You are too far now. Thank you for joining us. So imagine your customers paying you 1,000 to buy like the center of a fish, and then there is a hole at this center. So what they will have is now very tiny fish. If you were this customer, will you buy this fish? That's the reason why most people would never buy Clarias catfish that is very old because it has hole, and that hole is a bad market. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Ella Gold. So, when fishes raises their mouth in the water, could it mean that they are juvenile, that they are very active? I will answer that. I'm coming. So now, in this regards, when you buy, and then when you look at the prices of hybrid and Clarias at juvenile, because this is what I tried to when you are doing business, you know, catfish, like I said, is a pure business, whether you understand it or not. But it is business, and every business you put every element of thinking in it. That's how you profit. When I talk like this, some people say no, that I'm not being fair, but I'm being very fair because I want you to understand it. That's why you see two banks open, have the same capitalization, all of a sudden one collapse. It's not that they don't know what they are doing, but when they try to like bring down some certain things they do, they collapse. So now, yeah, MK Agro, good evening. So now, if at your buying juvenile, you buy your hybrid 120 naira for one single juvenile, and then somebody sells Clarias juvenile to you 55 bucks. You see, already you are paying around 70 bucks more for your hybrid. So if you let's say you bought 1,000 of this fish. So if you multiply 70 by 1,000, you're already spending 70,000 above the person that bought Clarias. You get it? A juvenile. Now, why do you need to spend this money when you want to sell the hybrid at 7 months? Remember, I said Clarias at 7 months will always have eggs. So, meaning that if you have Clarias, no matter how big they are, once they get to 7 months, you sell. So, if you now buy your hybrid at 7 months, you don't need to sell it. Because the reason is that if you wanted to sell at 7 months, why did you stock hybrid? The only answer you can give me that made you to stock hybrid is that where you want to sell, where you want to sell, that the people, okay, Ada, I see you. Thank you for joining us. So where you want to sell that the people that buy fish, they prefer hybrid to Clarias. This is the only reason that can make you say, okay, because where I want to sell, they need hybrid. If they don't insist that they want hybrid to Clarias, it doesn't make economic sense for you at 7 months to sell your hybrid and short money that you could have gained from stocking Clarias when they are the same price at juvenile. If this doesn't make sense, please drop it in the comment section. I would explain it better. Please. Ella Good on those states. So please, if you don't understand what I said now, please drop it in the comment section. Let me explain. So for this particular reason, the hybrid can stay as much as a year, 6 months without egg. So it simply means that at 7 months, if you have hybrid and they don't care and they want hybrid, they want big fish, leave your hybrid to get to like 8, 9 months. Personally, my hybrid, I start selling my hybrid when they're like 10 months. Earliest I sell my hybrid is at 9 months. Why? At that time, I have gotten all the value that I want because the fish will have no egg. They will be so big. People will still buy it at a very reasonable price. Okay, the banks, I see you. Thank you very much. So that is the reason why your friend is suggesting that you shouldn't sell your hybrid at 7 months. That is a loss. That's the simple reason. That's just it. No, there's no other magic. Even if you leave Clarias, they will still be very big, but they will have egg, which is a no-no. So now let me get back to the question asked by Joshua. He's asking, when fishes raises their mouth in the water, what could that mean? And they are juvenile, but they are very active. So please, for others joining us now, remember, if you have any issue in your farm, you have any problem with your catfishes, or you want to know something about catfish, as long as you are here live with us, kindly drop it in the comment section. I will pick it up. Oh, thank you that you understand it. That's very good. So, say, how do I treat the jar for supply? Is it the same way of treating my pond? I found my fishes dead in my pond. Should I throw away or allow them to eat it? I'm coming back to that question. So now, on the question why your catfish is open mouth, One, if it is me, if like you have in your pond like one or two fishes open mouth, it's an isolated case. It doesn't mean anything. Sometimes, just like you see people playing, see kids playing, and ordinarily sometimes they do what you don't expect them to do. It's an isolated case. But if many of them pack to a corner of your pond and open mouth, you now start suspecting that the water pH in that pond may have issues. Yes, you can see they're very active, and all of a sudden they start packing to one corner of your pond and opening mouth. When they, if many of them do it at a time, it means they are gasping for air. So what it simply means is that the oxygen level in that water just dropped and they are gasping for air. Then there are some scenarios where when this thing happens and within some time it corrects itself. You get it? Because sometimes what affects the water and makes the oxygen drop could be that something entered the pond, and before you know, the thing dissolves with the water molecule and it becomes normal. It can happen. Mostly in earthen pond, where you have the natural nitrogen purifier of the earth in the earthen pond, this could happen. You can see your fish is all gasping for air, and at the end, sometimes like this, everything changes. He's asking me, so what is the best type of fish to stock? I will answer that. Best type of fish to stock. I will answer that. I'm coming. Mhm. So, so that could happen. So, but what I'm saying is, when the fishes are in the pond and all of them packs to one side, and you see them doing that, that is an indicator that there is something wrong with the oxygen level in the water. So when you see this issue, like the first thing I always say, whenever you see this issue, first thing that comes to your mind is change that water. When you change it and it repeats itself, means that the water pH needs to be checked. It could be a drop in the water pH, which a lot of things can trigger that. Ordinary, that is how the earth will even be. The reaction in a place can change the pH of a water body within some few seconds, and then you see that type of situation. So the best thing for me is change the water immediately, add fresh water, and see. That is if majority of the fishes pack to one side and are gasping for air. But if not, majority of the fishes that pack to one side and are gasping for air, maybe like one or two, just observe. We can give them one full day to observe and be sure that, yeah, that this is a problem or not, to avoid complicating issues. Because, like I said, the fishes do a lot of things. It could be an isolated case, and then you now trigger it thinking it's big case, then it becomes big. So, we just need to understand that. So, like the question says, I would always recommend anybody coming to trade to start with Clarias. No, that's a personal decision. Like I said, me, I always tell people to start with Clarias. The reason why I say it is that most catfish farmers, the first day you start your catfish, people are under this pressure to see money immediately. Even people that have very big money, because it's not easy telling someone that if you invest 500,000 before you get the money to be like 4.5 months. So it means that throughout the 4.5 months or 4 months, or depending on what you are selling, that you will just be throwing away money. And that's the reason why most people abroad are deceived to do melange and they lose money. Yeah, don't think that because I mentioned melange that I have any problem with melange. No. But the truth is that there is little or no profit in melange. And the only way you make profit in melange is to leave your melange to get to like 700 grams so that you get your profit. Anything below 500 is a loss. But people will tell me that, oh, my buyers, if your buyers insist, go and get oven. So dry those fishes yourself and sell it. If not, if you sell any melons below 500 grams, it's a loss. That's why many people abroad today have crashed in catfish farming. And that's the truth. Because, when people put money, they are like, they want my money back immediately. So that tension now makes them to lose money. But the truth is, if you are starting initially and wherever you are living that you want to start your catfish and people don't mind any fish you start with Clarias. The reason why I still advocate it is that the cost of buying the juvenile is way cheaper than hybrid. So when you start with your Clarias, when they get to a size that you wish, maybe at 3.5 months, you are seeing 1 kg and people want to buy 1 kg and you are pressed, you need money, you can sell it, or 4 months or 4.5 months, you can sell it. But if it's hybrid, if you sell it at that point, man, they lose money. Because the value that you have lost from the juvenile is the truth. So remember, if you have any problem, drop it. I will keep taking them one by one. So like he asked me, what is the best fish to farm? Okay, Banks is asking me, considering the price of fish now, how do we make profit from this business? I mean, what's the better alternative for feeding plan? Thank you. I'll come to that. So now he's asking me what's the like I'll come to your best feeding plan. Coming about that feeding plan. So the question here is what is the best type of fish to I keep saying all these things, but most of us always miss the point. Remember, if you are just joining us now, if you have any issue, drop it in the comment section. I will pick it and I will reply as soon as possible. So now I've always answered this question. Your best type of fish to stock depends on where you are. For instance, I stay in Ondo State, and in Ondo State, nobody cares if you are stocking hybrid, if you are stocking Clarias, they eat everything. So now, if I'm a new farmer in Ondo State, because Ondo State generally don't care, I will simply go for Clarias because Clarias is cheaper than hybrid buying it at juvenile. So I save that money and convert it to their feeding. But like there was a day I did a video on this. If you check my pages, you will see the video. So someone asked said from Kwara State that there's he called the name of the place. I forgot it's been long. That place in Kwara State. He said if you stock Clarias in that place, they will not buy it. That they don't like Clarias. So they prefer hybrid. Obviously, why they prefer hybrid? Because hybrid stays longer and the skin will not be like momo. No, the more the fish stays, the more the skin becomes tougher. So when you buy fish of like 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, the skin becomes very, very tough. So that's the same reason. So it could be that that's the reason why they prefer it. You're asking for my contact. Yeah, you can send me a WhatsApp message on 081 353 48909. 081 353 48909. Please WhatsApp only. No call, because if you call now, I can pick. So just drop your WhatsApp message. I will get back to you whenever I am free. Yeah. So let us go back to the question that Banks is asking me. She's asking me that considering the price of feeds now, what is farmer's best option? So I'm coming. I will still Gloria, please. How do I treat the jar for supply? I don't get this question. Is it the same way of treating my pond? Please, Gloria, what are you talking about? Which jar are you talking about? Is it the container you use in selling? Because I don't get that jar of supply. So just let me know. What's your best advice on selling the fishes at smokable size and table size? I'm coming on that. So, on what you do in this present cost of living, it's very simple. What fish wants, the truth is that what your catfish wants is quality. In catfish business, your quality and quantity goes hand in hand. So, if you produce 1,000 fishes and these 1,000 fishes don't have quality, the quality here is your weight and the size of each fish. So if you produce 1,000 and they lack quality, which is your weight and the size, you lose money, right? Now, if you produce 500 fishes and they have quality, they have weight and size, you gain money. So if I have made sense now, you will know that as a business person, you go for the one that you will gain money, which is the quality and the quantity, 500. Because the quantity and no quality is 1,000. You lose money. So what's the point? Now, in the current feed crisis situation, it affects all of us. True. That's why you see me, whenever I'm talking, I will tell you, I don't have any preference for where you buy your feed so that people don't misunderstand me. But I will tell you, oh, Dream, thank you very much. I appreciate. But I will tell you what I use. So when I tell you, it depends on you to use it or to use whatever you prefer. So some people give me option. So they give me option of like telling me that they have this, they have that available in their locality. Which one do I choose? I always tell you, oh, out of these three, I know about these two, they are the best. So that's how I tell people so that you have option. Please, in this business of catfish farm, you always have option and make use of your option. Now, if before the current crisis in Nigeria situation, you were stocking 1,000 fishes, and then 1,000 fishes then, because truthfully, before Buhari regime, if you stocked 1,000 fishes then, we are using 800,000 to raise them to one minimum of 1 kg. That's the truth. Before Buhari, we are using 700 to 800,000 to raise it. In fact, by Jonathan time, there was a time Jonathan did something for agri farmers that he gave people feed. So remember, this is not about politics. So I'm just telling you what brought us to this point. I don't discuss politics, anything politics on my page because this is simply business. So I don't have any political, no, everybody just day your day. So then he did something, and that thing affected farmers. So he gave out feed and everything. So that time, we started buying feed. This Blue Crown was 3,800, if I'm correct. So then it used to be 4 5, but after that thing, it was 3 8. So then, if you wanted to raise 1,000 catfish, then to a minimum weight of 1 kg, you will use 500,000. Yeah, things progressed. Because the problem is that most catfish farmers don't understand. When I call figures that we use in raising fish, some people have some funny ideas that no, they don't need that figure. I laugh because we hook, and when you hook, you will understand the difference between gun and gunpowder. This is just the truth. So now, after that incident, when they left, things were now going up. So from that 500K, we started doing 800K, we started doing 1 million. But presently, with the present cost of feed, if you want to do 1,000 catfish and get money for the business, because remember, everything I'm telling you is for you to have money at the end of the business, for you to make profit. Remember, I made mention of quality and quantity. If you are doing 1,000 and you no get 1.6 million as feeding, you no get am, forget, you are wasting time. That's the truth. Now, if you have 1.6 million, another thing that will affect you is your pond. Some people will use one tarpaulin pond or sometimes 10 by 12 to stock it. You are just wasting. You are playing. The majority will die and you won't get the money that you invested. This is the truth. So what you will do now that the feed price is going up and you cannot match it is reduce your quantity. When you reduce your quantity, give these fishes space. You go make money. Stay this business. So that's the truth. So now I think I have answered that question. So now the next one, the next question is said, what are you asking? Oh, it said, what is your advice about selling fishes at smoke size and table size? Now, my advice is this, like I always say, before you do anything, yeah, thank you very much. Anytime you can just send me a message, no problem, I'll respond. So before you do anything about catfish farming, um, selling fresh and smoke, the power is in your hand. If you want to do melange and make money, I tell people, if you want to do melange, because some people say, oh, we don't have money, but we want to do fishing. Good, it's good. So if you want to do it, plan that you are going to do melange. Now, before you do melange, please go to your local market where they sell dry fish. Understand the kind of dry fish that they are selling. Dry fish have two types. So some people will tell you that they only buy dry fish of like manla. These are local fish. Find out what they do in your place. So if in your place they sell all types of fish as dry fish, good. What you now do is make your own to be touche, like putting it round and using wire to hold it like this, those rounded fish. People like that. It's attractive. So what you now do to make money, because you say you don't have money to wait for your live fish to be bigger, and because the truth is that the bigger your fish, the more money. But then you don't have money and you want to do catfish, I would advise do the melange. But reduce quantity so that you don't have problem of management. Now, let's say you did 500 melange. Before you start it, get your oven. So if you raise this melon to 3 months, 3 months max with good feeding, start smoking your fish yourself. But oh, for some reasons you cannot smoke your fish. Find out how people in your place smoke their fish. You don't necessarily need to buy oven to be able to smoke your fish. I keep saying this, and it is true. Our parents, their own parents, they were using firewood. Until today, as I'm talking to you, people still use firewood. Some people started with firewood, then graduated to buying industrial oven. But the problem is that most of us want to do everything once. If you get an oven that will take like 100 fishes, you can buy it like 150K. So if you don't have that kind of money, go to the market, like I said, go to where they sell smoked fish, meet the women that sell smoked fish, tell them, say, Mama, please, I have fish that I want to smoke. Who can help me? They will, with the current situation in Nigeria, before you even finish, you will get people that will follow you. Then you guys negotiate. Don't fear. They are not going to do this thing and steal your fish, because anyone you give them, you count the fish. They smoke it, they give you back, you sell your fish, and you make more money. But when you sell to people, if you want to sell your melange to people, you don't want to pass the stress of smoking, kindly sell like 700, 800 gram, 900 gram. If you sell melange below 500 gram, it's a loss. If you sell 500 gram, your profit may not be up to 5% of your investment. So it depends on you. Now, yeah, it comes down to available markets. Whatever business you are doing, the available market decides what you do and how you do it. If you don't do your research, but you are doing it based on, that's why anytime I'm talking like this, I always like to tell people that please always try to make your research. Because yes, I'm telling you what is obtainable to where I stay, but may not be obtainable to where you stay. Then it means that if you take what I say and you do not make your own research, then you come out and you have issues. Then you say, you start blaming me. How do I know exactly when to change their feed when the person I bought them from, he doesn't know how old that they are? Okay, it's simple. How can somebody sell fish to you without telling you how old your catfish is that you're buying from the person is? The statement doesn't make sense. If someone sells catfish to you, he's selling the catfish as fries. He's selling it as fingerlings. He's selling it as post fingerlings. He's selling it as juvenile, post juvenile, or jumbo. So, which of them did the person say he sold to you? But the person now sells fish to you and said he doesn't know what the catfish is. I mean, how do you that paid? What did you pay for? No, there are some questions that you don't know the beginning. How will you know the ending? So, somebody you bought fish. So, what did you pay for? Let's assuming that you paid for juvenile and the person that supplied you, and the fishes are very small. You know, obviously, that is not juvenile, that is fingerlings. So you can start with 1.5 mm. When you start, yes, if they are too small, you start with 1.5 mm. But the issue is, I keep saying it, if you're a new catfish farmer, don't start with fingerlings, even though it's very cheap, but don't start with it. 1.5 mm is going to sink. And if you don't know how to manage the feed and you pour feed and they keep sinking, they're sinking, they're going to pollute your water. And once they pollute your water, your fishes will get infection and most of them will die. So, that's the secret of it. So that's why I don't advise people to go to fingerlings. Management is not easy. And if you want to use eating pond and you pour fingerlings into the eating pond, many will die. That's just the simple truth. It's not about me. So say that the answer is okay. God will know. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Me personally went to come to feed. I started off with foreign feed. Yeah, normally, like I keep telling people, I start with my pond. I start with foreign feed. I start with skirting, but this, skirting is not the only foreign feed. We have many of them. Coppens is there. During when we started catfish farming, we used to have Durante, but for some reasons I'm not seeing Durante. These things are foreign feed. They are good. You have Alaqua and many others. So you can start with anyone. The main reason why I start with foreign feed, so that maybe if you don't understand it, let me explain it very well. The reason why I start with foreign feed is not because foreign feed is better than locally produced feed. Remember, the local feed is not the one you make yourself, but the one that a company does in Nigeria here. So the reason why I do that is that when you buy foreign feed, check on the composition. They have more protein. So I actually use it to like boost up my fish. So they eat most amount of protein as starting point. But that is not to say that using only blue can or our local feed, you won't get the result. You will get result too, but that's just what I do, and many people do it. So it depends on you. So remember, if you are joining me now, if you have any question on catfish farming, drop it in the comment section. I will pick it up from there. For those who are asking for my number, is 081-353-48909. Remember, just send me a WhatsApp message. No need trying to call me because it's always much. So sometimes I won't answer your call. But when I see your message, whenever I have less time, I'll be able to go back to your messages and reply. I have replied practically. There's no message in my phone that I don't reply. I reply everything, but it may not be when you want it because of time. So Gloria said, I mean, in a situation whereby I'm to provide a container to the supplier of my catfish, how do I treat them? Hey, now you come now. I said jar before. If you want to buy catfish, juvenile fingerlings, whatever, and you're supposed to provide the rubber container for transportation, which is normal. It's normal for you to provide. So what some people do is that they tell you to pay money for it and they buy it. But if you have one that you want to use, simple thing, use hypo. Hypo, put detergent, possibly pour hot water inside and use iron sponge. No, not iron sponge, use sponge to wash the inside very, very well. Wash it very well, rinse it, turn it upside down, allow it to dry. When it dries, put water again, wash it. The container is good to go. Please, for some reasons, do not put plantain leaf, all those things. Don't put it. I told people don't put plantain leaf in your pond. Many people put it, and when their fish die, they start asking me that they treated the pond and you put plantain leaf. Listen, I'm not against someone telling you to put plantain leaf in your farm. Like I always say, whatever I tell you here, I don't follow you to practice it. It's your choice. So it's your choice, to do anyhow you wish. But I tell you, whenever I say something, I try to let you understand the implications of what I say. Because, like I said, anything I say, I always have implication. The reason why I say don't use plantain leaf, even if you are preparing your pond to stock, do not put plantain leaf. It's simple. When you get a plantain leaf, press the plantain leaf. There, you see, there's liquid coming out. Now, what is the toxic nature of this leaf? We don't know. So when you put it in a pond and soak those things in the pond, now your pond itself, let's say tarpaulin pond or concrete pond, will grab these things. Even if you wash it, some things may still be in the pond before you put your fish. But if you're washing it, what is the point putting that in? Now, some people said that the reason why they put the plantain leaf is to fertilize the pond. But I want us to, when you listen to something, please apply brain. I'm not saying you don't have brain, but apply it. If you put, have you ever heard that plantain leaf is any form of fertilizer? If you have heard it, please direct me to where you read about it. And you will see that plantain leaf is not a form of fertilizer. It's not a form of fertilizer, please, so that we don't make mistakes. So now somebody is saying put plantain leaf as a disinfectant. How can something that brings out a liquid, you don't know the toxicity of this liquid, be a disinfectant? How? I don't get it. When we were growing up, before I started catfish farm, people tell us to dig a catfish pond close to the plantain trees. So I did not know the value. But later on, we are now told that the reason is for the plantain this thing to create shade when there is too much sun. But when we started doing practical, we discovered that it's of no value. Instead, sometimes it attracts snake which stay under it and do bad work in the pond. So please don't be doing all these things. It doesn't help. You put plantain leaf to soak. Don't do it, oh. Especially in a rubber that you want to use and buy fish. Don't do it, oh. If you do it, the result may be bad because you wouldn't notice it immediately. But later on, your catfishes will start dropping. Then you now start understanding that something may be wrong somewhere. And the cure of such mistakes is not always available. Please. So I always prefer you put it in a very, after you have washed the container, give it to someone, and it will be good. So I'm listening from Benin City. Please, I buy juvenile 4 days ago, but they die every day, 20 to 30. What could be the reason? The reason why they die is that, one, you have overstocked your pond. Two, I don't know how you transported your fish to where you are. You could have induced heavy pressure, heavy stress on the fishes, and after you transported them, you did not put enough water for them in the pond, and they start dying. So you have to go and check your pond. Possibly send me a video to 081 353 48909. Send me the video of your pond. Let me know what is the size of the pond, and let me know how many fishes that you put in the pond that they are dying. Remember, the number is 081 353 48909. Say, please, in your area, how much is 1 kg of smoked fish? Truthfully, is that I don't deal with catfish, with smoked fish. I don't actually smoke my fishes because I don't sell it. I actually have people that buy my fishes every time I sell, so I don't really sell. But what I heard people say, which I can't tell you if it is true or not, for melons, people say they buy melons at 1,200 per kilo. But if it's the smoked fish, some say they buy it 3,500, some say it's 4,000 per kilo. But there are some places that they don't sell smoked fish by kilo. They sell it by waiting your eye see. They measure them by eye. Is it true? So find out what in your area works. The one in my place that say they sell by kilo, most of them now outside country people they supply and give. So they have standard measurements for those. Some say it's 3,500, some say it's 4,000. I don't really know how much truthfully it is, but this is what I hear them say. So you can go ahead, make your inquiry. But most market women I know, they don't buy it like that. They buy it by, they will just look at the fish and tell you that this size is this amount when you smoke it. So it depends. So for you as a catfish farmer, if you see that size, you should be able to know the size it will be when it's alive. So that after smoking, will it be that size? So that's it. That's why I say do it yourself. If you can do it yourself, if you roast a catfish yourself, you raise it and smoke it yourself, no matter what, you make profit. It's the truth. How do you prepare a new concrete pond for stocking? Yeah, the break down the cost turns out to give me the profit I need to sell per unit. So he's saying, once I get to selling point, I break down the cost. Yeah, actually, if you want to know, I've said this thing in a video that I did before. If you want to know if you are making profit in catfish, when you want to sell, you do test weight of your fishes. So you have idea what the weight of your fishes will be. Then you know how many you stock, and you know how many you have recorded that are lost. Multiply what is the test weight. Sometimes it may not give you accuracy in your percentage, but it gives you an idea what will happen. So it gives you an idea how much. So you now check the feeds that you have used plus any other running expenses. Remember, the only running expenses you're supposed to do here is maybe you buy fuel to like pump out water, do this thing, or maybe you have one or two workers. If you pack workers when your fishes doesn't worth it, those expenses will be too much. That's why when people tell me they want to add this to the feed that they are buying, I just usually laugh at them because they don't understand. Okay, Rashid, I'm coming to what you're saying. So they don't understand. The more you add things to your fish, is the more you are increasing the cost of production on that fish. For instance, now, if a bag of feed is 22,000, I'm just giving an example, and then somebody tells you to go and add egg, and you know how much egg is now. Maybe you now use a crate of egg, some egg now. Some people sell it 70 bucks. Now the crate will now be like 30, that's 2,100 plus 2,100. You now add it to the feed that is already 22,000. So you already spent, so now it means that the bag will now worth 24,100. What is the benefit that your fish will derive from the 2,1 you just wasted? Nothing. So Igwe Emmanuel, I'll soon call my number. I've called it before. I'll call it now. 081-353-48909. Please, WhatsApp only. WhatsApp only. 081-353-48909. So this one said this. Oh, as this said, they sell smokable fish 1,800 to 2,000 in Ibadan. That you see, like I said, I don't know. I don't know. Rachel Farm said melange in his area is 2,005 to 2,800. It's very possible. I don't know. I don't do it. So now you have increased your cost of production by 2-1. So imagine when you are doing cost of production, you add your juvenile price, you now add your feed price, your cost of feed plus your juvenile price, then you now add your cost of running ground, like you buy fuel, that's part of your cost. You add it. Let's say you have one staff, you add the cost of the month that the person have stayed to this production. Then divide it with the weight that you plan to get from that thing. So what it gives you as your individual this thing is what the cost is going to be. That's this cost I'm giving you now. You multiply the number of fishes that you have to what is the weight that you sampled. Like say you have 500 fishes and they are weighing, maybe your test weight, you are seeing 1 kg. So it means that you are now on 500 times how much do they sell 1 kg? You get it? So if they are selling 1 kg, let's say 1 kg of fish in your area is 3,000. That means you are making 500 times the 1 kg, assuming, because this is a test run. So it will be 3,000 times your 500. So this is your what it will be. So when you get this, you now divide it by your unit cost. So you now, when you divide it with that cost, it will now give you the assumption that this is the cost that you have spent on each fish. So if you do all these things that I gave you now as example, and let's say you now come up with a cost of like 2,000, let's say 2,200 as cost on each fish. So what it simply means is that if you are selling, you can't sell below that as per kilo. Now, when you hear me talk sometimes, I try to see a situation that you don't spend too much money on doing irrelevant things in the fish so that you don't attract costs that are useless. So what this simply means is that you have some costs that you don't necessarily need to do in your catfish. For instance, you don't need to buy egg and break in a feed done by a company. That is a waste. Do you know that when you mix egg with your feed and you pour the feed in the water, look at that water, you see that egg, you see the color change, meaning that egg is already wasted there. So what's the point? All those, somebody will come and say, hey, I want to buy aerator. If your catfish farm doesn't have any problem of water, why do you need to buy aerator? When you buy aerator, it goes on to increase the cost of production at that time. So you don't really need to attach all these unnecessary values to what you are doing. Please, if I'm speaking too much grammar, let me know so that I'll be able to break down these things and for you to understand. That's why we are doing this live program. It's for us to understand exactly, because some people say that on my videos, they just see me talking, they don't get exactly what I am saying. So that's why I decided, okay, sometimes we do live broadcast so that ask me anything you don't understand and I will put you through. So now, good evening. I hear you. Good evening. My number, like I said, is 081-353-48909. WhatsApp only. So, Precious, you stocked 1,100. I'm Precious, you have been following me for a long time. Oh. Can you stock 1,100 in 10 by 18 pound? Hmm. That's not the best that you can do, because you see 10 by 18 pound. Maximum that pond will take to give you the best result is 200 fishes. Okay, Igwe Emmanuel, you missed my number. It's 081 353 48909. 081 353 48909. If you are joining us now, what we are doing is that we are learning about catfish farming, the best way you can make profit in this business. So if you have any problem on your farm or you have any issue concerning the fish business, something you don't understand, just drop it in the comment section and I will be able to like do justice to it. Please just do that. And if you have any other thing you want to ask me, also drop it and I will do justice to it. So precious, like I said, 200 will be the max that give you good results in that pond. So anything above 200, the results you'll be getting will be low. But putting one there, I will just tell you on time now. If you can, look for another option of pond. Those fishes, some of them will die as time goes on. So since I am at the stage which I am scared, I can't see your message. Please send it again. Say you stocked 1.5. I can't see what I'm a farmer, boss. How many bags will 3K eat? Till smoking size. I can't just give you such figures off head, but on the page that you are, I talked about catfish farming. I talked about 3,000 fishes, the bags, number of bags that you need to raise your 3,000 fishing, 3,000 catfishes is there, and is to raise it to a weight of minimum of 1 kg. So simply go to that place, 1 kg. If you're now doing 1 kg, so if you're doing 700 grams, what you simply do is divide the number for 1 kg into two. When you divide it into two, the remaining half, divide it into two again and add it to give you 750. I don't understand. Sorry, Dr. Eliminate. I don't understand. You said, but after 1 month, I saw them and I got was 800. They ate themselves. Anytime you stock catfish and they ate themselves, you should always understand that you overstocked a particular pond. That's the main reason. That's what causes it. So once you overstock a fish, that is what's going to happen. They will start eating themselves. And once you don't feed your catfishes very well, once they are hungry, they will help themselves. So these are the two major things. Sorry, there is a question someone asked me here and I missed it. Now I remember the question and let me answer it. He said, if his fishes die in the pond, I can't say that question, but I think I saw something like that. If the catfish die in the pond, if he should leave it for other fishes to eat, please, I would beg you and I would advise you, don't do it. People like us, we did it when we initially started. So what we are doing then was, if our catfish died, because we know that fishes eat themselves. So if for some reasons your catfish die, we actually leave the fish in the pond for others to eat. Then the one that they remain will carry it away. That I was doing it then. But then there were some issues that we later noticed. For instance, if it's some kind of infection that kill that fish. If others eat it, there is every possibility that they may be infected from the same situation. That's number one reason. The number two reason, that catfishes, they are just cannibals in nature. So they eat practically anything. So whenever they are hungry, they scavenge, they eat practically anything. Now, when you leave a dead carcass of fish and they test it and see that, oh, this flesh is sweet, what happens is that anytime they see a fish that is not feeling okay, they will eat it. So it's just like you have introduced them to what they normally will do when they are hungry. So you have now opened their eyes that, okay, oh, you can actually eat yourself when you are hungry. So in the long run, you will lose so much. Thank you very much, Tosin. I appreciate you. So, so that's the thing. So it's not good to do it. Please don't do it. Like I said, two main reasons. One is infection, and one is you are trying to introduce your catfishes to cannibalism, which is not very good. Yes, precious. I understand. Let me tell you one thing. If your pond, example, if your pond is supposed to take 50 catfishes, and at stocking size, you now say, oh, because these fishes are small, you now stock 100 and have the hope that after 2 weeks, you will separate them. It's not good. The reason is that you have actually induced pressure on them. So you have induced stress on them. Now, some fishes will get okay when you separate them, but there are some that will not get okay when you separate them. So it's always good. Example now, like I said, 50 to 100. If you do that and the fishes just stay there for like 1 week, it's still not a problem. They will still get okay when you separate them. But when it's not, they go like 2 weeks, 1 month, it's not good at that point because now the fishes are settling down and to start having challenge of overstocking. So when you settle them, some of them may not recover from this problem until you sell. And remember, anything that affects the number you have in a pond actually affects the number you make as profit. So that's why it's always good from the first time that you start catfishes, you'll be at alert to avoid issues that touch at the end of the day. So if you have any questions, like I said, please kindly drop it in the comment section. I would always pick your questions and I would answer. So there's another thing I want to tell you guys. If you have a catfish at your backyard in the farm, no, I'm not saying this in a bad faith. It's a very good faith, but people do mistake, out of ignorance. It's not that they have any bad feeling. So when you have your catfish, your house, back of your house or your pond, it's very advisable not to pack people. They go watch your fish. I know because you have fish, it's interesting. You want to like tell people that, oh, I have catfish. You want to show people that you are doing something very good. It's good, very good that you tell people. But this is where the problem lies. I once had a woman, she has retired, so she called me that she wanted to start catfish and everything. So I explained to her. So she was so excited. So what she does is in the evening time, she goes there to play with the fish, like exercise and all these things. But unfortunately, what happened was people always come to the farm. Danny, this your 14 feet diameter. I presume that you're talking about a pond that is circular in size. If this is true, do a video of that pond. Let me write the 14 diameter and 3 feet height. Send it to 081 353 48909. I need to see the pond if it is circular. But if it is not circular, that means your size measurement is wrong. Check it again and let me know so that we can resolve it before we end this chat. So now people will come and watch the catfish innocently. Mind you, this is not a bad feeling. Innocently. So when people come, they are so happy seeing fishes play. So I know it's circular. That's why I said send it to 081 353 48909. The video of the pond. So innocently, people watched her catfish play. One day she wasn't there, and people went the time that they normally go to watch the catfish, and we are putting things inside the pond for the fishes to eat. Fishes will always eat. When they ate, the woman came back the next day and her fishes were dying. So you are answering my question. Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. It's okay. I'm not answering your question. Kelvin Knight, is cooked poultry hatchery waste good feed for your catfish? Okay, I'm coming. I'll answer it, Kelvin. Kevin Knight. So the fishes started dying. So when she told me, she didn't realize that those people did something. So when I listened to every story and the fishes that are dying, so I now asked her, did anybody visit your pond? She told me no, that it's just her neighbors and her children that they always go to feed the fishes together. And I told her that go and ask those people. But remember, don't fight them. Just ask them, what did they feed your fishes? And lo and behold, they fed the fishes a lot of things. These things started killing the fishes. The woman actually is no longer doing catfish now because of that. She cried that she couldn't, withstanding everything that she labored for waste like that. So she's not doing catfish again. She said she doesn't want another one that she will do, and everything will get wiped out. So innocently, people do things. That doesn't mean that they have bad intention, but what they did may bring negative this thing to you. So please be careful. A very rough way of working out how many bags of feed we need to work out 1 kg of food to provide 1 kg in weight of family. You can't even do that because if you say that 1 kg of feed will give you 1 kg body weight, like I said, sometimes that mathematics doesn't work because sometimes your 1 kg of food will not be that, depending on the water temperature of the pond as at the time the fishes were eating. So if you do that, you may go way away from what actually happens. So that's why I do by physical examination of the fish, multiplying and knowing what will come. So now you are asking me if he said using poultry waste, said cooked poultry waste. He said, is cooked poultry waste good for catfish? Cooked poultry waste. I'm suspecting that what you are asking me is cooked intestine good for catfish. I have said it before. If it's intestine, fish poultry intestine you are talking about, okay. But the issue is how many um intestine can you be able to give your catfishes for them to be okay? Now, your intestine is mostly proteinous. They lack calcium, which you need your fish to be very strong so that they will have good skull. They lack it, so they are proteinous. So it means that you are giving them just one way type of food, and they are not viable in vitamin nutrition that your catfish require. So, in as much as you are giving it to your catfish, if you want to give it to your catfish as just like snack for them, for example, now you feed them in the morning, you feed them in the evening. Let's say you feed them around 5 o'clock, and around 8 o'clock, you decide to cook intestine and give them. Hey, but remember, intestine carries, when you boil it, they have oil on it. Even before you boil it, you see oil on it. So each time you give them the intestine, remember that you need to change the water in the pond the next day, except in your eating pond. And in the eating pond, if it is too much, you need to pump out the water in the eating pond and pump in a fresh one. So the choice is for you. But like I said, it is good that you give them as not your feed supplement, but a food support. So is it good to check your pond frequently on daily basis? My brother, um, your pond, uh, please, sir, you haven't answered my question. A boost. Please, I can't remember. Please, what is the exact solution to? Oh, swollen stomach. Okay, sorry, I'm coming. Swollen stomach. I'm coming. So you are asking me, is it good to check your pond regularly on frequently on a daily basis? Like I said, when you have catfish, this one says, how does overfeeding happen in okay, how does overfeeding happen? Sorry, I'm just doing this so that I don't jump any question. So I have swollen stomach and how overfeeding happens. I will get back to it. So when you stock your catfish also need to stay on their own. Each time you approach your pond, you are like putting pressure on your catfish. But let's say you fed your catfishes and later on you decide to go and stand there and watch them. It's okay. But not that you go away and you come back after 1 minute. That one, you are putting too much pressure on the catfish. It's not very good. So I always say it, there's no need. This thing is your own. So no need for you to start going there to go and see the catfish. You don't need it. When the catfish is in the pond and you feed them, after feeding them, you leave them and go. So going every time to go and watch the catfish is not always good. So when you do that, you are because anytime you come, the fishes will react. Anytime you come, the fishes will react. So it's not very good. You understand? So now you get on now. So anytime you want to feed your catfishes, you go there, look at them. If you don't want to call them names, call them. They will be happy seeing you. But every time, it's not very good. That's why even people going to your pond, like I said, it's not very good. So it's saying, how does one overfeed catfish, right? I have a video on it. You can't actually overfeed your fishes. The only thing that happens is that you can waste the food on your catfish. Because why you cannot overfeed them is that you can't open their mouth and pour feed. So that means there's no way that you have to pour excess feed. Then if you now overfeed them, they will vomit it. But remember, you can't overfeed them. So why do they vomit your feed? It's because after feeding, something happens. Like maybe this is I am now is a farm. Now, this is a pond. After feeding my fishes just now, they ate to their satisfaction. Then all of a sudden, somebody starts Okada here. Those fishes will vomit all the feed because that sound that starts that surprising. Everything they have, they will vomit it. But you can't overfeed them. Many people have asked me that they feed their catfishes 3 times a day and it's eating. I always ask one question. When you are feeding them, are they actually eating? If yes, it's good. Now, some people will argue that when you do it, you are wasting your food. Let me explain to you. You are not wasting your food. What happens is that you have shortened the time of your goal. Example, if you are supposed to leave the fish for 6 months to gain 2 kg, and you are feeding them 3 times, by 4 months, you will get that kg. So that's what you just did. You just brought it forward. It's simple. It's nothing like, oh, maybe you are doing it, you are wasting. You are not wasting anything. The only thing is make sure that each time you are feeding your catfishes, they are eating. Yeah, thank you. I see you. Tosin, thanks. I appreciate. No problem. Any other question, bring it ahead. I will answer you. So swollen stomach. How to stop swollen stomach? The question about stopping swollen stomach is what causes swollen stomach? Swollen stomach is as a result of a rotten gill in your catfish. That's what makes it to when the thing, the gill aids the breathing of the catfish inside. So, but when one side is no longer working, maybe it's now rotting, it's not giving the fish infection. Now, your oxygen goes inside, outside in the catfish and it's now rotting. So it can't do that inside, outside. What happens is that the thing, because it's now rotting, the stomach starts swelling up because it's not going out again. It's just inside, it's not going out again. The fishes become restless. Now, you don't need to allow your fishes to get that situation because you already know what you will do to stop it. And what are you going to do to stop it is make sure, one, do not overstock your pond. Once you overstock your pond, you have too much of ammonia content in the water. And too much of ammonia content is what is going to go down and infect one of the lungs, the gills of your catfish. That's a problem. So don't allow that to happen. So when you don't allow that to happen, you now discover that you have stopped the infection from happening. Then number two, if you're supposed to change your water every 2 days, and for some reasons you now push changing your water every week, you are inviting trouble. So why not go ahead to change your water every 2 days to prevent the infection from happening? So if you can be able to, one, don't overstock, don't prevent infection from happening, your catfishes will never have any swollen stomach. I beg, who swollen stomach help? Nobody. But swollen stomach as a result of when they eat, you now come and you see your catfish say their belly big. That one might be the best because it means that your fishes are going to give you result. You are feeding them to satisfaction. So when they do that, they will see them. Sometimes when you look at small fishes, you'll be laughing because you see them like this. Their belly go big. They'll be shaking their tails small like this. They are just enjoying themselves. They are waiting for the food to digest because they have slow digestive system. I discussed extensively on this page that you are. Just simply go down the page or type on my page swollen stomach. It will come out. You will see everything about swollen stomach. Just type swollen stomach on my page. If you just go to search on the page, type swollen stomach and catfish. Everything is well explained there. So how many fingerlings can 5 by 10? My brother, I don't 2 feet deep of pond. Don't use it. It's a waste of time because naturally your pond, your catfishes require a 3 feet water supply. Now, if you have 2 feet, it means that you can only use 1.5 feet for your water because you have to leave gap. If not, your catfishes will be flowing out of the pond. So 1.5 feet in a pond is already a stress-induced pond. Your fishes will not do well. Normally, if the pond was supposed to be like 4 feet and you have like 3 feet of water, so 5 by 10 of that pond would actually take 70 fishes. So, but when you now have a situation that you have 2 feet, it means that you're having only 1.5 feet of water. If you put half of the number of fishes supposed to be there, they're already stressed induced. Therefore, you're going to have issues in that pond. I have a 20 by 10 meter pond and a maximum put inside it. That's a good one now. Your pond is very big for your 1,000. So your success rate is very okay because that pond is very good. A 20 meter by 10 meter pond is big, so, and it's an earthen pond, so you will get a good result. So he said, Oloma said, it's not right to wash my pond while there is fishing in it. Someone argued this and said it's the best way to maintain cleanliness of the pond. Oh my goodness. So what is the best fit deep? The best fit water deep on your catfish is 3 feet. Once you get your water reach 3 feet level, it's okay. You can go to 4 feet, it's still fine. But when you go to 7 feet, these things are catfish. They are not sharks. So they'll be having problem coming up to eat. That's why you go to some ponds that are very deep. You hardly see the fish come up. They're always down because you have made it to be like 8 feet, 10 feet. So it's a problem. So Gloria, this issue, most people that argue this issue are people that have, you have very small number of fishes you control. So you always like some people will tell you that when they look at their pond, it's dirty. They feel that the catfishes will have dirty environment and everything like that. So that's the argument. But when you start expanding, nature would automatically take its course. Yourself, you can't be able to meet up. But let me help you with this argument of how many that you can actually put in the of washing your pond. Don't mind me. Question complaint. I can't they confuse myself. So what you do is when you have your catfishes in your pond, personally, I would advise you not to wash the pond. But if you insist that you have to wash the pond, there is a formula you will use to wash the pond. What is this formula? Don't bring anything detergent in the pond. Before you enter that pond to wash it, wash your hand, your leg. Don't use soap. Oh. If you use soap, please make sure that you rinse very properly. You climb, enter the pond. Now, when you enter the pond, your fishes will move to one side, right? You use hand. If you want to use sponge, make sure that there's no single detergent on the sponge. As you're washing that pond, the water is going out. Open your water reservoir for more water to the enter as they go out. Try to be quick so that you don't induce too much stress on these fishes. But if you don't do that, you just enter, you scrub the pond, and the fishes are inside that thick water. Because when you are now washing it, you are now bringing all the dirty we don't they hide for the body of the pond. You are now bringing everything together, and your fishes are inside there drinking and soaking that in. Most of those fishes may later die. So it's always good as you are inside it, open the water. So as the water they enter, they come out, they come out with dirty water. So when you now do it and do it, and you see that it's becoming clearer, you can now lock your discharge and get out of the pond, and everything will do normal. Or when it's not going out, when you get out of the pond, allow more to enter so that it will actually take out everything so that you don't get into trouble. So he's saying catfish digestion is 9 to 10 hours. Bros, me, I cannot even tell you how many hours it is, but between 6 and 8 hours, your fishes can still eat. It's not, there's no concrete thing that says it's 9 to 10 hours. Because like I said, it depends on the environment, depends on the temperature of your water. So if the water temperature as at the time of feeding is very cold, let's say you feed during cold time, the fishes may not digest that feed till around 15 hours safe because the water is very cold. So their system will be very slow in digesting. So, but if everything is normal, between 6 and 8 hours, you will be able to digest the food, meaning that you can actually feed. That's why I said each time you want to feed, go put food. If they respond, they are ready to eat. If they are not ready to eat, if you put food, they are not going to respond. So that's it. So in catfish, there's nothing that is static. You can always switch it. So so that's the best way to wash your catfish. But for me to you, I advise you don't do it because if you do it and make mistake, you have a bad result on the catfish, or you washing your pond. That's the truth. So I don't advise anybody to wash your leave the thing. Normally once water is stocked in a place, you have to see some green algae on the pond. Those things are not harmful. Even you that drinks water stored in a tank, I can tell you that after 4 months, if you don't wash that tank, go and check, there's algae in it. Meaning that you have been drinking the algae, you never died. The water was not bad. So that's the reason. So this person is asking me 3 meters. We know say that conversion we go do now. 3 meters. Okay. He's asking me, you have a pond of 3 meters by 2 meters tarpaulin. What is the height of the tarpaulin, please? Let me know the height of the tarpaulin. The height of the tarpaulin will help us to be able to calculate what you are giving me. He said 3 meters by 2 meters. So what's the height? With the height of the tarpaulin, I can be able to calculate it for you and tell you how many fishes that you need to stock in that pond. So, Stephen, I've answered your question. The best depth is 3 feet. Once your water level is 3 feet, you are okay. You are good to go. A boost, yeah, no problem. I appreciate anytime. Famous, you did not come late because this thing you can always watch it to be there to you to watch later. So no problem. If you have any question, I'm still ready to take it from you. No problem. The best way to overfeeding your fish is to use spot feeding. That's the truth. But the problem, MKL agro, the truth is that most people always have something in mind about feeding. So sometimes when I say things, it's like I'm like trying to impose things on people. So that's why I don't actually, whenever I say this, if you watch, I always like to give you an option so that you choose. But I will tell you the one that I know is the best. So Kevin said is 4.5 feet height. Oh, okay, that's good. I'll get back to you now. So I always try to give people option, but I will always tell you the one that is the best. Spot feeding is still the best method of feeding catfish in your farm. When you use spot feeding, it tells you a lot. For you not to overfeed your fishes, just use spot feeding. There's a video someone sent to me today, and inside that video, you see that all under his pond were full of feed because he's broadcasting the food. So you won't know if these fishes are responding. But people don't want to understand it. It's okay. How often do you change your pond water? Every 2 days if you're on concrete and tarpaulin. If you're on earthen pond, we have two types of earthen pond. One of the earthen pond is the one that has enough water supply. So that type of earthen pond, before you even dig one foot, water don't full everywhere. That one, you don't need to worry yourself. But if it's this ordinary one that it will take small time for the water to come up, change that water at least once in a month. Some people don't change water in cat on earthen pond for 9 months, for 10 months, and they still come out with good results. But I'm telling you that if you change water, you will come out with a better result. It's the truth. And the reason why they do it is that naturally your earth has a nitrogen recycle system which purifies whatever is in that pond. So every night the pond like recycle itself. And that's why they don't change water. But I'm telling you that if you now help the system by changing water once a month, your result will be super. Even if you have the pond that pumps out water every minute, if you can be able to pump out all the water once in a month, a new one enter, you will see your result will be far, far better. So he said, won't spot feeding make injury to their self? No, your fishes have a streamlined body. So yeah, it says your fishes they do. Now, when you are feeding your catfishes, all of them, when they come, they do that thing. Once they're inside water, they don't have any problem. Your fishes will only injure themselves when you overstock the fish in a very tight corner that they cannot move. But during feeding, they are all jumping all spin, so they can never give themselves injury. And let me tell you the funny thing. Even if you are scattering food, all the fishes will still go together to that point. There's no time you scatter food that only one particular feed goes there to go and eat. So they can never injure themselves. Their body system has made it that they can't. They will always, jump up to eat their food. So you can't see injury. Once if you not overstock your pond, if you injures, let me know. But it's not possible. they cannot. They cannot get any injury. So that's the truth. So Kevin, your pond at 3 feet water height, best result you can get in that pond is 80 fishes. Best result is 80 fishes. So most of my big fishes have injuries. What can I treat them? If your fishes have injuries, like I said, now you're stuck, you overstock your pond. So if you want them not to have any problem, please kindly sort the big ones and separate them. So once you separate them, those injuries will heal on their own. I don't like putting things inside the water. Say you are treating this, treating that. It reduces the strength of your fish. It reduces the result you're supposed to get from your fish. Anything you put in the water, you are reducing the power that fish has to give you what you are looking for. So even that body injury, what you do, just separate them. Naturally, it will heal. You don't even need to bother yourself. But if for some reasons you now want that, oh, I cannot sleep because I'm seeing one injury. When you separate them, I said, when you separate them, buy what we call procaine penicillin powder and put in that water. It will help the thing to heal. But if you buy it, you put it in the water, make sure later on change the water again so that it will not be too much in the thing. I use tank pond. I change my water every day. It's not good, please. Don't change water every day. It's not the best. Because when you change water every day, you are stressing out those fishes. Every time you change water, it's a stress to your fishes. That's why after changing water, if you put feed immediately for your fishes, they will not eat. This will bring me to this question of people asking me, should they feed their fishes after eating? You can. But what we do is that, like I said, sometimes we just apply wisdom. So after you change water in your pond, allow the catfishes to rest before feeding. Someone called me one day and said that he was told that if you feed the fishes, they will die. They will not die, but they will not eat the food. Let people not keep confusing you. That's why my pages are there. Anytime you have any, just chat me. Have my phone number 081-353-48909. Send me a WhatsApp. I will reply you. But like I said, I may not reply you immediately, but I will surely reply you. So the reason why after feeding, you don't feed your fishes immediately, not that they will die, but then they will not respond to your feeding because you are stressing them. You just finish stressing them and you give them food, they won't come. Some of them will even be afraid, they won't come. But when you give them 1 hour, 2 hours to put food, they will come. It's simple. Now, for some of you who don't know, if you want to sell your catfishes, if you want to sell your catfishes, don't feed the catfishes. So I will talk on that. But let me check on this. Also, I have a very good water supply. My borehole is industrial. Can be flowed through every day instead of changing water. No, 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 don't, like I just answered it now. Don't change your water every day. Flow through, if you want to do flow through for them every day, you still need to change water because if you do flow through and the water goes very low, you are still disturbing them. So there's no need to do the thing every day. So, and if you check the cost of electricity to just to put your water to be flowing every day in and out, if you have that kind of money, it's good. You can do it. The fishes will be happy getting new water every day. So it's okay. But I'm telling you that that will be another form of stress on the catfishes. But if you have the resources and you want to be doing flow through, if you understand what flow through means that as the water they reduce, another one they enter. So if you understand this particular issue, it means that you are going to open your discharge down, oh, then open the inlet up. So the water is entering from above and is going below. Do you have the borehole that will sustain this kind of situation? I know the answer will not be yes, but what you want to do is a situation that you open an inlet, maybe half of the tank, to be going down from halfway, then while another one is coming up from the other way. That's what you want to do. But it's not the best. You are still stressing out the fish. So, like I said I'll come back to this particular issue. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you. They say, if you want to sell your catfishes, my advice to you is do not feed your catfishes. At first, when I started fish business, the buyers would tell me don't feed it, but I was always thinking that it's a way to cheat me. Naturally, you know that when you feed your fishes, they gain weight. So I was thinking it's a way to cheat me. But then again, I realized that it's not. What happens is that if you feed your catfishes 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours before selling, some of them that did not digest the food, when your customers buy this fish, remember that when you are selling, you pick up the fish. Now, that time you picked it up, it still has food in the system. Most of them have not completely digested the food. So you load it in another bath, another container, you squeeze the fish together, the inside squeeze together. These people move it. So when they move it, that stress that they pass, if they get to their place, some of them will vomit the feed that they've not digested. If it's only vomiting, it's good, but some of them may die. So your buyers, once they discover it, they won't like to come to your farm again to buy feed because you wanted to like cheat them by giving them food, but again, you are now robbing yourself. So the best thing, if you want to do, the best thing is, I want to sell my catfish Monday morning. Example, that's what we do. I want to sell my catfish Monday morning. Sunday, normally we dey feed our fishes by 9 a.m. I can switch time because I want to sell it on Monday, so I will now feed by 8 a.m. Now, the next feeding, if there is no sun, by 4 p.m. If there is sun, you leave it. Don Rolex, my number is 081-353-48909. 081-353-48909. So, like I was saying, you now switch it. If there is sun, we wait till 5 p.m. After feeding by 5 p.m. Now, normally before, you feed 2 times, but after feeding by 5 p.m., because you want to make sure that everything is normal, by 10 p.m. It's not all that we eat, though, but some we eat. You want more weight, right? So you can do this like a week before you sell. So you introduce it, they will start eating like that. Change their system. So they will be eating like so you sell by 10 p.m. So that in case your buyers want to show your place by 7 in the morning, or many buyers always like coming early to make sure you don't feed your fish. So when they come, the fishes will still have more weight than somebody that did not do that. So you can call this expo. You can call it handout, but it is what it is. So when you do it, your customers come, so your fishes will have, please, you calling me now. There's no need, there's no way I can answer this one. Or maybe you just wanted to check if the number correct. I don't see I'm incorrect. So when you do that, your customers will not buy the fish if you go and feed them some hours to sell. That's a no-no. But if you do what I said now, you discover that you have already given them around 8 hours for the feed to digest. So meaning that most of them will be fine during sales and you won't have problem. And you may have additional point something, kg from that. So that's a way you can actually help yourself. But some people go and feed eba. Me, I don't feed eba because when I did it, I did not really see anything. And now that eba is even eba is now very expensive commodity. So imagine using Gary to go and chase feed. Which one is more expensive now? So I don't actually do it. But what some people were doing then is they do eba, they give their fishes. Some will eat, but not all that we eat. According to them, it used to give them weight. But do not quote me tomorrow because I don't do it. So it's left for you. So that is that. So when you do some of these things that we've discussed today, I guarantee you that you're going to have very good success in your catfish farming. If you have any questions now, please drop it because I think I've answered, cleared, bulldozed, swept through almost all the questions that we have there. So, like those people that just joined us now, what we are talking about is catfish farming. How profitable is the farming? Why people quit the farming? What will make you to make more profit in the farming? And we have talked about a lot and lot and lot of things. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The name is still Let Us Farm. LETUSFARM. When you subscribe there, see this video now, will still be there. Even on my Facebook now, if you go back there, you will see you can be able to watch this same video. But unfortunately, my TikTok, for some reasons, TikTok doesn't actually save video. So he's asking me penicillin that I mentioned. Remember what I told you about the penicillin? Penicillin procaine powder. Just when you get to a chemist, ask them of penicillin procaine powder. It's white. There is no particular company. That is the medicine they use in treating wound. It's powder, white powder. So, but like I said, if you leave your fishes without that, it will heal naturally. That's the truth, but it's your choice. So if you want to do it, go to a chemist shop, tell them you want to buy procaine penicillin powder. It's white in color. They use it to treat wound. Pour it in the pond. After some hours, discharge the water in that pond, put the fresh water. Do it for like 2, 3 days. Starting will gradually heal. But I mean, I don't do that. So the best way is you can actually do what I said, just separate the fishes. And remember, even if you are trying to do that one, make sure you separate the fishes. If you don't separate the fishes, those ones that have injury from fight, whatever in the pond, will get eaten up and they're going to die. So it's better you understand it now so that, you know, you won't have any issues with it. So that's it. Um, So, like we are talking about profitability in catfish business, like I said, one of the reasons why people don't make money from catfish farming is we have people assume a lot of things in the fish business. But like I said, catfish business is a wonderful business. Remember, I'm not saying that you should come and join me to do business. No, I always prefer you do your business your own way. But now the only difference here is that you've got to understand exactly what you are doing. If you don't understand what you are doing, you may likely not make the desired profit. I'm going to drop some videos maybe by tomorrow next. Someone was actually using, if you know this rubber, you will see it when I drop it. This rubber we use in the house. This is not, it's not the other video, the black one I dropped. No, this one is like white rubber tank, blue. It's not that big, but it's a little bit tall. People are using it to do catfish. Please, it doesn't work. Oh. I once watched a lady in TikTok. She said she used to cover her fish. Please don't cover your fish. Oh. Now, some people have asked me this question. Is it necessary for you to build a cover to cover your fish farm? And I will explain this to you. Cover of a fish farm is in two aspects. Is it that you are covering the pond or you are covering the farm? Two things. Now, it's not wise to build a roof over your catfish farm. It's not wise. The reason is that your catfish actually need sunlight. Now, when you build a roof, I've seen people say multi-million naira fish process. What people don't tell you is after building multi-billion naira fish farm, how much is the multi-billion naira they are making from the fish farm? Some people I know, after doing all these expenses, converted the fish farm to a piggery farm. It's the truth. It's just unfortunate, but people do it. Now, it's not advisable to cover your catfish with roof. It's not advisable because catfish they need sunlight. So the what's advisable is that each pond you have, make sure that they have at least 3 feet water high for them to be okay. Now, on top of each pond, when you have outside pond, try and put a net. If it's earthen pond, ask anybody that sells fish material that you want to buy fishing net. Put it on top so that if anything enters your pond, the fishing net go catch that thing. So that predators do not enter your pond to eat your fishes free of charge. If you don't do it, predators will be entering your pond. That's when you have crocodiles entering your pond, you have snakes entering your pond, and there are many predators that enter people's pond to eat whatever they have. So if you put fishing net, it's going to prevent it. Now, if you're using tarpaulin pond, if you're using concrete pond, if you're using rubbers, tanks, and all these things, go and buy chicken net. There are two types of chicken net. You don't need to buy the one that the eyes is very small. If you buy that one, you're going to be having problem of flies. As you know, flies will always want to enter your pond, so you're going to be having problem of flies. So don't buy that one. Buy the one that the eyes is a little bit bigger like this. So it will still prevent birds and poachers from entering your pond. It is very, very good. So when you do that, you'll be able you'll be able to like safeguard your catfish from you'll be able to safeguard your catfish from things entering the pond. But when you don't do that, you expose them from things entering the pond. So please, this is the things that you have to know. Don't build a house over your pond, but put this net on top of your pond. Avoid using the chicken net that the eyes is very small. Use the one that is a little bit bigger. That will help to prevent you from having too much flies. Because those ones with very small eyes, they make flies come too much in your pond. And when flies come too much in the pond, it's another problem on its own. So I don't know if I'm able to have covered everything that you wanted to ask me, but if you need any other clarifications, kindly drop it in the comment section and I'll be able to get back to you. And until I come your way next time, my name is Emily Fonunwel Oge of Leros Farm. I thank you all for joining me today on this broadcast. So I see you next time. I'll try this time around to give us a heads up notice so that many people will not say they missed the live podcast. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say, but you guys are wonderful. You guys are very, very wonderful. Nike, thank you so much. You guys are very wonderful staying with me till this time. Michael, hello. What do you want to ask before I do? Doctor says I should do this every week. It's not easy. It's not easy for me to be doing it every week. Yeah, Danny, thanks. It's not easy for me to be doing it every week. Please drop a like, everyone. Yeah, thank you. If you can drop a like, I will be happy with that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you who have been able to join me. But doing it every week, I won't deceive you, it's not easy. Thank you very much, Precious. I appreciate. Doing it every week is not really easy because I have other activities. I wasn't actually supposed to do it today, but I had to because of some issues that came up with many people that were like, please, 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 do you do physical inspection? Honestly speaking, I do. But sometimes it's not really so easy for me to do. So sometimes I miss doing it when I promise people. That's why sometimes it's like I just try to avoid it. You may not notice, but for some people that have been following me till this time, Michael, please, what is it? I want to ask about treatment of weak fish. Or Michael, please, treatment of your weak catfish. The best treatment you can give to your weak catfish is remove it from the pond that you have it, put it in another pond, let it be separate from others, and allow it to rest. It's going to get better. But if you insist that you want to give it treatment, go to where they sell fish feed, ask them for catfish. Everybody want to know. Oh my goodness. You don't really have any treatment for catfish, let me not deceive you. But when you get to where they sell catfish feed, tell them that you want fish biotics. Fish, that's fish, Fish, then biotics, Biotics. That's fish biotics. Ask people that sell fish feed. But like I said, these things don't actually work the way you want. So yes, fish biotics, that's it. So the best thing is separate them, put them in a place that they have water, and just allow them. They will get better naturally. This is just the truth. So, like I said, I actually do it, but like some people who have been following me, you will know that catfish is not the only thing I do. I also have a poultry farm, and if you understand the pressure of poultry farm coupled with catfish, and I also do cropping. So you can imagine. So sometimes I have very barrage of problems. How often can I use salt bath to treat fish in a month? I don't do salt bath at all. Please, Michael, leave salt bath alone so that you don't kill your fishes. So you don't need salt bath. So all these things that you people are using, it's not good though. It reduces the performance of your fish. What your fishes need is clean water bath every time. When you keep doing salt baths, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, you are reducing the performance of such fish. It is the truth. So because of all these things, I used to have very problem of like talking to people like that. So that's why I always like when you tell me your chat me, I'll be able to answer you. I don't use a miss money, but I'm saying okay. What's the maximum amount of fishes to put in a tank? My brother, there are some questions that the thing too big. He said, what's the maximum amount of fish to put in a tank? The question is, what is the maximum size of a tank? You see now that you cannot be able to answer me, and that is why I cannot answer you. Because the maximum amount of fish to put in a tank is directly proportional to the maximum amount of fish tank, meaning that each tank has its own content size. So that is it. I think now we are one on one. There are some questions you ask, it will be too big because a tank has no specification. So maximum amount is limitless based on the size of that particular tank. So one thing I do on my farm when I'm selling, I use electronic scale. Electronic scale is best for selling your catfish because electronic scale will make you to get all your points, like 1.2 kg, 1.3 kg, 1.1 kg. If you use digital, 1.1, they will be telling you, leave the 1.1, it's nothing now. It's something, no? When you add 1.1, 1.1 in 10 places, you see, say you don't, they get almost 1 kg. So it's something, it's a very big deal. So personally, I use digital. So with digital, I don't miss any of my points. I bring everything together when I'm selling. So digital is very, very good. Thank you very much, sir. Now I know why some of my fishes die. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Anytime, anytime. If you have any issue that I am not able to discuss today, just send it to 081-3534-8909 and I will be able to help you out. Good evening, sir. After 5 months of stocking my fishes, they are not still up to 500 grams. Yeah. The truth why your fishes are not up to 500 grams after 5 months, between me and you, you know you're not feeding your fishes. That's the truth. You're not feeding your fishes very well. You still believe that your fishes, anything you give them, they eat, they will grow. And that's a lie. And that's the reason why after 5 months, they don't have up to 500 grams. Catfish is what you put is what you get. If you don't feed it, you won't get results. And if you don't get results, your sales will be bad. That's number one. Number two, if you overstocked your catfish, I'm sorry, you can't do anything. I have like 500 in it. Unfortunately, I don't know the measurement. Get the measurement of your pond and send it to 081-353-48909. 081-353-48909. When you tell me that measurement, I'll tell you how many that you need to stock. But again, like I told you, I'm pretty sure you are not feeding your catfishes very well. That's the truth. Because most people is they don't feed their fishes very well, and yeah, Danny, that's the truth. Catfish business is garbage in, garbage out. It's what you put that you get. For some reasons, people say don't feed your fishes too much so that you don't waste money on feeding. It simply means when you want to sell, you won't get anything on sales because you did not feed them. So as you did not feed them, you can't get anything on sales. So that's the truth about catfish. Any other thing that people tell you, forget about it. It's a waste of time. Like I said from the beginning of this program, some people make this mistake, and what they try to do is that they say, oh, prayers can change anything. My dear brother and sister, when you want prayers to work, always try to put in the effort. Then you now start praying and it will work. But if you don't, you're just wasting your time. So I feed my fish whenever they are hungry. If you feed your fish whenever they are hungry, you will see the result whenever they are okay. My brother, you are saying your pond is 4 feet by 5 feet. I don't know, you know what is 4 feet by 5 feet. If your pond is 4 feet by 5 feet and you stock 500, I can bet you that what is inside that pond will not be up to 200. Because 4 feet by 5 feet cannot even take more than 40 to 50 fishes max. So if your pond is 4 feet by 5, which I strongly doubt, you won't see up to 100 fishes inside at 5 months. And the ones that you will see will either have only head and the body will be too tiny. And that means it's a big loss because you way overstock. And that means you're not feeding them. Because if you overstock and you're not feeding the fishes, many of them will not die, but they will be shrinking in size. You see? So you will be thinking that, oh, I'm not seeing the fishes that some will die, some will get eaten up by the others, but they will be shrinking in size. So when they are shrinking in size, you will think that you are doing well. Or you say, this guy said it's 200 that it's supposed to be here, but I have 1,000 and they are not even dying. One, there are some that are eating up you did not see. Two, there are some that just died on their own you did not see. Three, most of them will be shrinking in their size with only skull, and you will not see them until the day you want to sell. That's why catfish business is one kind funny thing. It's just like somebody that went to school, you write test, write exam, You wait for the result. On the final day, you will know what you did yourself. So that's the same thing with catfish. It will not worry you to read. No, catfish will not disturb you. Even though some may die, make sick, and all this, but your end result is what you want to sell. So that's it. So I thank all of you. I really enjoyed today's section, but I will try. I will try at least every month. I try to have this section twice every month, so that me I go fit get my own time now. So thank you very much. Like I said, I have so much on my hand. That's why I cannot always be on to like address issues, but I will do my best. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And if you have any other thing that I've not discussed, just kindly drop it in the comment section and I will still get back to you. Thanks and God bless.